And we're live backstage, sold out 99X Mistletoe Jam in the AV room along with Steve Craig. I'm Axel and the legendary guitarist by the name of Johnny Marr. Welcome to Atlanta.
Nice to be here.
It's very nice to have you.
Thanks.
I called you sir earlier, and I just called you legendary. Do those things, do those words bother you? Do you know, it's like the first time somebody calls you sir, you're like, I'm not your father.
No, I'm normally called Lord.
Lord?
Yeah, or His Holiness.
You in mine and Steve's book, you should be knighted, so we should probably
Yes.
be calling you sir.
Yeah, that's
Sir
right.
Johnny Marr.
Do you get paid for it? I'll sign up.
Right, right. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's nice to be here, yeah.
I think the obvious question is, Isaac Brock really sought out contacting you and
Yeah.
wanted to make you a part of his band, Modest Mouse.
Yeah.
How does one get in touch with you?
Well, he got the record company to contact, you know, I have people, there I've said it, you know. He contacted my people, contacted my management and asked whether I'd be interested in speaking to him, you know. So I assumed that he wanted to talk to me about production, you know, maybe me producing him, which I wouldn't have really been very interested in.
Have you done that, yeah?
Yeah, I produce bands, yeah. It's a lot of work. I really like it, but it's a lot of work for, well, you might as well make your own records, really. So I was intrigued, you know, and so, yeah, that's how he got in touch with me. He got the record company to call me, you know, and see if it was all right if I got my number. But I was intrigued, as I say, because I couldn't really fathom out where Modest Mouse were coming from musically, you know. A lot of bands these days, they, you know, they let you know that they're a little bit of Joy Division, or they're a little bit of The Cure, or a little bit Depeche Mode, or Nirvana, or whatever it is, you know.
The Smiths.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. And with Modest Mouse, you know, I'd heard quite some of the stuff, you know, and I couldn't really quite work out where they were coming from, and I still can't, you know. So I was intrigued to see what made this guy tick, and he called me up and said, would I be interested in helping him write the new record? You know, that was the thing. I just thought he was very ballsy, you know.
Right.
And it worked out okay, you know. I said, well, call me back in about 10 days and we'll have a think about it, or a week. And he called me back and I said, okay, well, you know, what's the score? And I just figured I'd go over to Portland for 10 days and write and see how we get along, you know.
Well, he's a very dynamic personality and an interesting guy, and trouble seems to find him. And when you read into the stories, it's, you know, it's not as troublesome as some of the headlines. But did you know this, and were you kind of bracing yourself, going, "Wow, I just, you know, I had a legendary career with Morrissey, a very interesting, complex personality. Do I want to get into this again?"
Yeah, well, I none of that kind of press stuff really phases me, you know, and because ultimately I just judge people on the work. I don't really, you know, no matter what somebody does or has purported to do. It's what they sound like that interests me, you know. So, you know, I don't nothing really scares me very much, you know, with musicians. So I did a little bit of research, you know, and I found out that most of that stuff is absolutely true.
It is, well, it is true, but then you hear attempted murder, and then you do the research, and he had a little fender bender while he had a couple of drinks, which, you know, a lot of us have been in that situation, had a couple of drinks, got behind the wheel, shouldn't have, he had a little fender bender. His girlfriend broke her thumb, and in the state where this happened, that's considered attempted murder. So then when you strip away the headline or dive deep into the headline and see the actual story, you're like, well, he's not a crazed lunatic. He probably made the wrong decision, driving after a couple drinks.
Right, yeah. But he probably attempted murder earlier that day.
Okay.
You know.
So maybe it is all true.
So, you know, yeah, I like working with people who aren't run of the mill, you know. I mean, you can hear it in his lyrics, you know. I mean, the guy is he's a real firecracker, you know, and he's very intelligent, very quite misunderstood, you know, and it's someone whose work I really admire, and I admire him even more now that we've written together. So I think it's good. It's good to have some characters. It's good to shake things up a little bit, you know. It's that's what kind of rock music needs, I think.
Well, Johnny, how did it go from him contacting you to do maybe what seems to be like maybe consultation on it, or production work, or helping write songs?
Yeah.
How did you get to the point where you decided, I'm going to go on tour with these guys, or I'm going to actually, you know, get on stage and play on the record, and really be an integral part of the band?
Well, it was when I started writing songs, I started to care very much about them, you know. So initially I went into it like we're all adults, right? So I was like, okay, well, let's see how we get on, you know, because joining the band's a big commitment. And I didn't really care about what the public or the press or anything was going to make of it, because, you know, it was like what it meant in our lives. So we didn't really sit around a table and discuss the big picture. It was just, let's see if we can make some songs that we really like, and if we get along with each other, then let's try and do it again the next day.
See, that's art. That's happening organically. But then, I mean, Johnny Marr, with the long career you've had, the money's in the bank. Creatively, you still want to feed off of people and make a great record.
Yeah.
Or is it like pulling teeth? Like, you know, they could have easily had somebody else tour and do your guitar parts.
Yeah.
But you've been on world tours. You've seen every state in the United States. You've been to every country, played shows.
Yeah.
Do you still get a kick out of it, or is it a burden?
Well, I care about the songs, and also, well, I care about the songs, and I wanted everybody to know that I was committed. But the other thing that people don't consider is that I'd gone for a year with these guys doing something very intense, and it kind of, friendship comes into it too, you know. I mean, I know, you know, you've got your life and all of that, and I've got, you know, life in the UK and everything, but after going through all of this intensity with these guys, it would have been a little weird to just jump ship, you know. So I wanted everybody to know that I meant what I was playing on the record. Started off, I'll write some songs, let's see how it goes. Then it was, I record these songs because I really want them to sound right. I couldn't imagine someone else doing my parts. And then it was like, well, I'm in now.
Right.
You know, we're a gang. You know, there's a real kind of brotherhood about the band. You know, so, and I've been doing that since I was 14, 15. I know when I'm in, and when I'm just a visitor.
Right.
You know, and I'm in.
Well,
so.
Congratulations on what will be probably another long haul, because this is just the beginning of Modest Mouse.
Yeah, it's very exciting for us. You know, we're working on some new riffs and all of that. I mean, tonight's the last show of a 14-month run. And we're all very happy about having a couple of months off, but that 8 weeks will go pretty quick, and then we're getting back into some new stuff.
Should I ask the tough question?
Oh, you know what? I think you have to. I think with any band you have to, and I don't
Exactly.
think you're a jerk for saying it, and you've heard it, so you have an answer whether it's something in the back of your mind or it's not.
Right, sounds great.
Was something that Morrissey was here not too long ago, played a show, very successful here in town, and there's always, whenever he's in town, there's always that question of a Smiths reunion.
Oh, yeah.
And there was, and even though really the Smiths weren't really together for that really long a time when you consider the whole gist of your career and also Morrissey's career.
Yeah.
And there was some legal trouble with Andy Rourke and the other, well, the other two members of the Smiths. Now, have you and Morrissey ever talked about getting together and doing some stuff?
No. No, we haven't, no. And that's the answer to that. We haven't, no. But
It's at the end of a chapter in your life, you can move on. It's not something
well,
dangling out there that needs to be not
really
to close out.
No, because I wouldn't have left if I had business to take care of. You know, I started the band when I was 17 and I finished it when I was 23. It was done, you know, and time to move on musically and all the rest of it. The thing with that is that everybody's really fond of it, you know, and it's become really legendary. So this whole kind of mythology sort of builds up, and that's fine. But I can't really live my life that way, you know what I mean? I have to kind of, I'm interested in moving. I'm interested in what's going on.
And it's kind of cooler. It's kind of cooler to let people romanticize about the past.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then you give them something new, and then they start to go, well, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really think the Velvet Underground needed to reform. I don't really think the Sex Pistols need to reform either, you know. So he's doing what he's doing, and, you know, I can't really imagine playing the guitar that I play right now with the Smiths. And I'm always kind of led by my guitar playing, really. So that dictates how I live, you know.
I know you've been a guitarist for many, many years. Wrote one of the most legendary riffs for Less is More, How Soon Is Now.
Sure, yeah.
But if you need to practice your chops on the tour bus, maybe put down the acoustic guitar and pick up Guitar Hero 3. But Steve, the buttons, keep the dexterity up.
Really? It looks kind of difficult, man.
I know. It's actually kind of harder than playing just a D and a G and a.
Well, like they say, if kids would pick up a guitar and actually learn how to play the actual guitar and spend as much time as they do playing Guitar Hero 3,
if you're going to practice
it's amazing
that
what you can
dexterity,
accomplish.
why not play real chords on a real guitar?
Yeah, but then you have to get other people involved. That's where the problems come in.
Exactly.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Hey,
Johnny
welcome,
Marr.
man.
Johnny Marr.
Modest Mouse. We are
Thank you.
live at the sold-out 99X Mistletoe Jam.